Hey guys, I'm Jamie, I'm back. Today we are beginning the second part of our TNT tutorial in Minecraft modding. So first thing you want to do is create a new class for your block. But hang on, I just want to remove the block. Yeah, so you want to create a new class for your block. And I've just called it Block Duck TNT. So, as always, what you want to do is you want to do extends block, like that. Highlight over that, import block, add a constructor. Now, keep these, and then what you want to do is set creative tabs dot tab redstone, because it is TNT we're creating. Then we want to do then we want to do our func underscore 111022 underscore D, I think. Is that gonna fit? Yeah, it is that one. So now we want to do bud mod duck TNT, as I've added in our ROS folder, duck TNT. Okay, so that is the constructor done. So now what we want to do is we want to do everything else that we have in the other ones. So public int id dropped, int par1 random par2 random int par3. Okay, so now I'm going to return item dot chicken cooked. So not dot item ID. So that means it will drop a cooked chicken rather than the actual block. So then I'm going to do public int quantity dropped random par1 random. So I wanted to drop 4 cooked chickens. So let's do return 4. So those two methods done. Now the next method we have to do is all initializing the block and stuff and all its properties. So we want to do public void on block destroyed by explosion. And we want to do world int x, int y, int z explosion import explosion and import world. So then in here we want to do if the world is not remote, so I don't know what that means, but you have to do it, otherwise it won't work. But you have to. So yeah. And we want to do create a new entity duck TNT duck TNT equals new entity duck TNT brackets semicolon. Now to hover over this, add arguments. So instead of all this, we want to do x, y. Okay, so yeah, x, y, z. Then we want to do explosion dot func 94613c, and that should do it. Oh yeah, we also want to plus 0.5 f to each of these. Now, even though they're integers and we're adding a float to it, it automatically changes the variable to a float. Don't ask me why, but you don't have to cast an integer to a float. I don't think. Then we want to do duck TNT dot fuse equals 1. Actually 5. So the fuse is a lot shorter when it's just destroyed by an explosion. Then we want to do world dot spawn entity in world duck TNT. So there we go. That is that method. So it's so if we blew up our duck TNT with another bit of duck TNT or TNT, then it would explode. So yeah. I would show you now, but we've got a lot of ground to cover and not a lot of time, so I'm just going to press on. Now we want to do public void func underscore 9439 underscore a. Another long method. I hate it when they have these function methods. Why can't those be called like explode, public void explode or something like that? It'd be so much easier. Int x, int y, int z, int r5, because I don't know what it does. I should have researched it, but you know, I couldn't find a way of working it out. Entity living base entity if the world is not remote and par 5 and 1, that needs to be in brackets itself, equals 1, then I'm just going to copy this code up here from our onBlock destroyed by explosion, paste it in here, but remove that line so it doesn't change the fuse length. And then after this we want to do world.play sound at entity duck TNT so I'll put something in the string later, 1.0f 1.0f. So then in here you want to do random.fuse. So I'll create the sound, you know, like a creeper makes. Except it's not like a creeper. It's like a block of TNT makes. So yeah. That is our exploding function, so you don't have to type out all this code again. But you have to do it for here, because we have to change the fuse. Oh yeah, we have to import entity. And this changes to entity. Okay, so after this function, we want to create a new one yet again, called public boolean on block activated world int x int y int z entity player int par6 int par7 int par8. I know int par6 and float the others. Float par8 and float par9. So I'm just going to import entity player. So I'm getting quite a long list of imports now. Is it compared to this link? No, that's still longer. So in on block activated, let's do if player dot gets current equipped item dot item ID equals, oh no, is not equal to null, and player dot get current armor, get current equipped item dot item ID equals item dot flint and steel dot item ID, and I spelled that wrong. There we are. Why is that not letting me do that? So if I remove dot item ID, okay. So if I remove dot item ID, that should work. So now in here we want to do this dot the function we just created. So that one, world x y z 1, not par 5, 1, and then player. And then we want to do world dot set block to air x y z. So it does the exploding function and it sets the block to air, and it damages the item by 1. Yeah, okay. Oh, and then after that we have to do return true. There we go. Right. So then we have to do, then I'm going to do this, else if and I'm just going to copy this code in here. That bracket isn't meant to be there. going to change this to chicken cooked, so you can light it with cooked chicken as well, because it's duck TNT. Makes sense. Then I'm going to just copy this code, and instead of doing .damage item, I'm going to do dot. Can you do .remove item? How can you remove the item? I don't know. I just leave it. So it just spawns the block. Doesn't do anything to your chicken. Yay. Then we want to do else return super dot on block activated world x y z player par 6, par 7, par 8, par 9. Okay, so yeah, that's whole method. Now there's two more we have to do. There's a couple more methods we have to do for it to work. One of them ignites the TNT with a burning arrow, and another says if it can drop from explosion. So we're going to do that one first. So up here, before our on block destroyed by explosion, we're going to do public boolean can drop from explosion. What am I doing? explosion. Return false. Okay, so that is almost finished. Just one more method. Okay, so public void on entity collided with block world int x int y int z entity if entity instance of, so if it's possible for the entity to be an arrow, and if it is an arrow, so we're going to do entity arrow, yeah. Oh, and then otherwise it'll get upset if we don't do, and the world is not remote, and world dot is remote. We want to import entity arrow. Should probably import the whole entity package. Look, all of these. Import the whole package. Make a lot more sense. Okay, so in this method we want to do create a new instance of entity arrow equals entity arrow entity. So we're creating a new arrow that's exactly the same as the entity that hit it. If that makes sense. Then we want to do if arrow dot is burning. So if it's burning, then do the function. So this dot func 9 world X, Y, Z, 1 entity. So, alright, so you want to, let me think. Oh yes, this is the complicated bit. So you want to do arrow dot shooting entity instance of entity living base question mark, so it's comparing it between the two options and then it returns the options correct. That's what the question mark does. Then we want to cast it as an entity living base arrow dot shooting entity shooting entity colon null. So it will return either that one or that one, depending on what it is. So if the arrow's just been spawned in by a command or something, then it will return null. But if it's been shot by a person, then it will return this one. Okay. And then, of course, we want to set the block to A. And we want to do X, Y, Z, semicolon. And there we have it. Now we have done our block class. Now all we have to do is add in the block in our base mod class. So I'm going to do public static block duck TNT equals new duck TNT, no, block duck TNT. And then in the brackets we want to do 1003 for the ID. Material.tnt, that's what it is. Dot set unlocalized name. Duck TNT dot set hardness 0.0f dot set step sound block dot sound grass. Now I'm going to have to enter that on a new line. Okay, so oh yeah, we have to add it in on all of these. Language registry dot as name duck TNT blow up ducks TNT. Oh, actually, I'm going to add in something new to the entity duck TNT class. Now, what I'm going to do is, does the on update take anything? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do this. Okay, so entity chicken equals new entity chicken semicolon. Okay, so we're going to set it to, for the world to be world objects, but instead of world object we want to do this dot world object, otherwise it won't work. Then we want to do chicken dot set location no, not set location and angles, just set location. Ah, right, so you have to. Right, so I'm going to do this dot x, this dot y, no, not y offset, this dot y plus 10, and then this dot z, this to 0, this to 0. No, oh right, I get it. So, where do we get that from? Ah, right, it's pos x, not x. Silly me. So, pos z, pos y, pos x. Right. So that should work. Then we want to do this dot world obj dot spawn entity in world chicken. Semicolon. So now when we blow up our TNT, it will spawn a chicken in midair. Which I think is pretty cool. And we want to register the block. Duck TNT. Duck TNT. And then, oh, you can add your own recipe, because I'm not going to do that today because we're quite short of time. Almost half an hour now. Okay. So, let's run it and see what happens. Right. As you can see, I have indeed already been testing it, blowing much stuff up. Because as you know, it's a bigger explosion than normal TNT. So here it is. Blow up ducks TNT. So I'm just going to go over to this plains biome and spawn it in and show you. So as you can hear when we place it down, it sounds like TNT. Now what I probably will do the next episode is add multi-textures, because at the moment it's just every side is DTNT and it looks a bit odd. So that's the block. Now we can light it with flint and steel, but it disappears, oh no! And it blows up and spawns us our chicken, which will slowly fall down, and we can kill it. So now I'm going to show you how it can light with an exploding arrow. Flaming arrow, exploding arrow, what? So, just gonna... So now you know, you set off and it explodes and kills a pig. And there we have our new chicken, which I'm going to kill again. Right. So now I'm going to show you how, if you break it in survival mode, it drops you chickens. 4 chickens. So now I have 7. Yay. And now I'm going to kill myself. Yay! Okay, well that's it for this episode. So I shall see you next time.